Hello, my beautiful thinking people, my 1585ers and all who hang with them. Coming back at you once again with an FSD heading to Montreal video. Look at the absolute beautiful terrain we are traversing through. I'm 148 kilometers from my first exit for charging. We had to go through some cities up there to get away from the nasty traffic that was on the highway, but it seems to be fairly smooth sailing now. Oh, we're coming up to more garbage. Passing Coburg. Wow. So, more bad traffic on the way. But hey, when you're in a Tesla with full self-driving, what really is bad traffic? There is no bad traffic. You're just in traffic. So it might take you a couple minutes more, but it's no longer a problem. It's no longer a stressor. So I picked the right spot to include you folks in this ride, because this drive. This is absolutely beautiful. The colors on these trees, I hope the camera does them justice. You can see there's like so many different varieties of trees and shrubbery, just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so here's Coburg. We're indicating we're entering into the Coburg exits. And there's two exits there. And that begins the nasty traffic. I don't know, folks. Let me know if you have a Tesla or if you have other means of navigation. How good is your navigation at telling you about the traffic and stuff up ahead? Like, is it really as accurate as I'm finding with the Tesla Nav? With Tesla Nav, it seems to be bang on all the time. When it gets to a semi-slowdown and then a red district, it just seems to be so bang on. I hope they're using the data from Teslas that pass, just like Waze would do, to indicate to those coming up. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, it's amazingly accurate and very intuitive, very easygoing. There's a few times lately, like before, the nav system in the Teslas were hit and miss. They were okay, they just weren't great. And usually not listening to the nav sometimes would bring you better results. Now I find every time I disregard the nav, I get crushed. So Tesla is doing so well, it's training me to just trust the car. Just trust the car. Now, my one complaint is if I put on the signal to change lanes, it should be changing lanes. It shouldn't be hesitating. It should, it should hesitate based on traffic, but it should not be hesitating. If there's an open spot there and I put on the signal, it should say, okay, it's clear, boom, and do it. Because otherwise, you end up sitting in the same lane, the car's signal's on, and other vehicles beside you say no, and they pull up and they close you out. Like, that's kind of what happens almost everywhere in the world. So I think that's a simple function that we can ask Elon and the teams at Tesla to take care of, because that will be applicable almost everywhere in the world. I don't know anywhere where people say, oh, the drivers are just so courteous. They always let us in. They always give us, free roam. I've never heard it. If you know of any, let me know. Any cities, countries, provinces, I'll move. Because most people are not courteous at all. Teslas are very courteous. If that guy wanted to pull in right now, Teslas just back off and let you pull in. Right? Even if you do it abruptly, they don't get angry. They just slow right down and let you pull in. Very courteous in that way. And Teslas always try not to block driveways and inlets that, like, not driveways, but inlets that go into business areas. So if you're trying to go straight and there's a business right there and an entrance, it stops before the entrance so people can get out, people can get in. And I think that's really nice and courteous. There we go. This is the way the signal's supposed to be working. But it hasn't been doing like this up until now. So I'm very happy with the way it's working right now. As you can see, we've hit the traffic, just like the nav said. The slowdown happened back there where it was orange. Now we're in the red, and it is definitely, we're in the red. We're doing 39, 40, 41, 42 kilometers an hour. That to me is the red. Oh, and we have a lane ending up ahead here. So that's something else. Tesla and the teams at Tesla, if anybody gets this video to them somehow, if Teslas are capable of reading the signs, why don't they read them? Like this says lane ends in 300 meters. There's many times I'm on a lane like that and it goes all the way to the end of the 300 meters and then we're blocked in by cars on our left. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, here's one of the Rivian modeled Fords. After they bought that stake in Rivian, they decided to copy the pattern to a large degree. And that Ford, I think it's a Ranger or whatever, basically looks like a Rivian. There's not much on it that looks like a Ford except for the emblem on the side. Oh, that guy had to stop. It was an emergency, and it wasn't found on road dead Ford. There's another thing. Right ahead of us, you can see there's a Kia. It's a Kia Sportage, and a motorcyclist doing the unforgivable. Actually, not as unforgivable as splitting the lanes. So it's better that he does that than split the lanes, because splitting the lanes, there's a death coming. Going on the shoulder, the worst he has to worry about is a nail and getting a flat. And somebody getting mad because they're jealous that a motorcycle is getting ahead of them. But folks, try to understand, motorcycles are the most vulnerable on the highways. For them to sit in traffic like this, every single step of the way, there's a chance that the person behind them makes a mistake, loses concentration, and smashes into them from behind. If you're in a car and that happens, your head's going to bang up against your seat, and your car's going to get damaged, but good chance you're going to live through it without having to get bones reconstructed. Motorcycles, cut them a little bit of slack. They're going on the shoulder like that. I think, honestly, if there's traffic that's really slow, it's a good idea to let them go. The police officer should not be giving a motorcyclist a ticket for riding on the shoulder like that. If it's just because they want to go super fast and they want to fly past the traffic that's moving at 80, 90, 100 kilometers an hour, okay, I think they deserve their tickets, because at a fair clip, people are paying attention. They're usually paying attention forward and usually aren't going to run into you. But when it gets really slow, they get really blasé. They get kind of mesmerized looking at the road, and then they lose concentration. Anyway, you all know this anyway. Unless you've never been on a motorcycle. If you've never been on a motorcycle, you wouldn't have a clue. But if you've been on a motorcycle, you know how dangerous it is to be in slow-moving traffic. How many times you have to turn around and look at the person behind you and go like, stay off my bumper. Because if I have to brake hard because of whatever's going on in front of me, you're going to kill me. Stay off my bumper. That's a message to all of you. When you're driving out there and you see a motorcycle, stay off their bumper. They have better stopping ability than you. Okay? Much better stopping ability than you, which really makes it very easy for you to ram into the back of a motorcyclist. Now, I don't know about you, but if I ran into a motorcyclist and they ended up going to the hospital or, God forbid, dying, I would feel that for the rest of my life. You may be somebody who doesn't really care. You can run over people's pets, you can run over whatever, it doesn't really matter to you. But I don't know many people like that. I don't know if I know any people like that. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an update, show you what's going on here. Oh, look at this hill up here. The beautiful off-colored greenery. Beautiful tree patterns. Yeah, I'm glad I actually invited you guys on this part of the drive. This is absolutely beautiful. I pray that that's done by nature right there. And if somebody's mowing it, that's okay too. But I pray that's a natural formation there. On my right is definitely a cultivated farming field. Too far to go. It started way back here. So starting there, yeah, a little bit of slowdown there. That was people getting off, but going straight started really here. So we've done the bulk of it. Yeah, we're almost out. We're almost out of the red zone. And I know when it comes to sports, sometimes you want to be in the red zone. But on the highways, it's better to be in the green zone or the blue zone. Yeah, I didn't sleep too much last night. Maybe you heard that yawn. It was a tough night. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end that here. Looks like we're getting into a little bit of a congested, nothing, regular scenery type thing. It's the law. Slow down. Move over for stopped emergency vehicles. It's the law. What is the law? Oh, that's right. It's a thing that's created by a group of people who feel that they can make decisions for everybody else around them. Right. That's the law. Well, guess what, folks? The real law is you. You allow that kind of activity, it's you who makes the law. If you oppose that kind of activity, it is still you that makes the law. So be sure to be up on what laws are trying to be passed behind your back. That's a public service announcement from yours truly, Clyde Phillips Sr. Just somebody trying to squeeze me out of this position on the road. Oh, you saw that, did you? All right, folks, I'm going to let you roll. We'll talk to you soon. Love y'all. Take care. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. And never give up, never give in.